The boy took a bite of the yam, and his laughter turned to sobbing. He clutched his chest, gasping, "She's here!" I can feel her, before running into the market's chaos. His discarded bowl clattered to the ground, drawing the attention of those nearby. This was not the first time such an event occurred at Mama Adia's stall. Deep in the heart of a bustling Thea Market, where the air throbbed with the clang of cowry shells and the hum of haggling voices, stood Mama Adia, a yam seller like no other. Her stall was modest, just a woven mat, a clay pot of water, and an array of yams so golden and plump they seemed kissed by the gods themselves. People traveled from distant villages to taste her yams, whispering among themselves that Mama Adia had been blessed by the spirits. Some claimed they had seen strange lights flicker around her stall at dusk, like fireflies that never left. Others whispered of a soft hum, almost like a song, that seemed to rise from her yams when the market was silent. The elders swore they could smell the faintest hint of incense on the breeze when they passed by, a sign, they said, of the spirit's favor. But what no one knew was that the sweetness of her yams came at a terrible cost, a cost so steep even the spirits turned their eyes away. Long ago, Mama Adia was an ordinary woman, scraping by with honest toil. Her yams were unremarkable, her profits meager, yet she was content. That is, until the market's rising star, Ifeoma, began stealing her customers. Ifeoma's yams were larger, fresher, and cheaper. Worse, she mocked Mama Adia openly, calling her the seller of stones. Ifeoma's laughter stung deeper than a scorpion's bite, echoing in Mama Adia's mind long after the market had emptied. That night, as she lay on her thin mat staring at the cracks in her hut ceiling, the humiliation gnawed at her. The mocking faces of her neighbors played like a cruel theater in her head. Every jibe, every sneer, felt like another stone placed on her chest. By dawn, desperation consumed her, a desperation so fierce it drove her to the forbidden forest, where even the bravest dared not tread. She would not let Ifeoma laugh at her again. The forbidden forest was a place of shadow and whispers. Every rustle of leaves felt like unseen eyes watching. In its heart lived Neka, the weaver of fates, a shadowy figure who could grant both blessings and curses. "You wish for greatness?" Neka rasped, her voice like dry leaves scratching against stone. "Yes," Mama Adia whispered, clutching the hem of her wrapper. "I want my yams to be the best in the land. No one must surpass me." Neka's smile revealed teeth as sharp as daggers. "Very well, but every desire carries a price. Are you willing to pay it?" Without asking what the price would be, Mama Adia nodded. She had no idea that her hands would soon drip with the essence of the souls she once called neighbors. The next day, Ifeoma vanished. In her place, a yam appeared on Mama Adia's mat, larger than any she had ever seen. Hesitant, she peeled it, revealing flesh so white it gleamed in the sun. When she cooked and tasted it, her tongue danced with flavors she couldn't describe, savory yet sweet, earthy yet ethereal. That yam sold within moments, and word of its taste spread like wildfire. Soon other competitors began to disappear. Namdi, the butcher's wife, Kioma, the fisherman's son. Each disappearance was marked by the appearance of a yam so perfect it seemed otherworldly. What Mama Adia didn't know was that those who ate her yams began to experience strange visions. A young boy biting into a piece suddenly wept, seeing a woman's hands that looked like his mother's weaving baskets by the river. An elder savoring a morsel swore he felt the ocean spray on his face, though he hadn't left the village in decades. These weren't visions. They were memories. The memories of the cursed. For some, these memories brought uncontrollable grief as they saw lost loved ones and moments they could never revisit. Others were haunted, their dreams invaded by faces they didn't recognize, but whose emotions they could feel: sorrow, fear, rage. Behind her stall, hidden in the dark recesses of her hut, was one yam Mama Adia could never bring herself to sell. It was large and knotted, with a deep crack that oozed sticky sap. This yam was Tunda, her husband, a man who had betrayed her in a way no words could ever heal. "You think I would forgive?" Mama Adia hissed the night she transformed him. "You will sit here and watch me thrive, just as I watched you abandon me." Yet in the quiet moments of the night, when the market's clamor had faded, Mama Adia would sit before him, her lantern casting long shadows on the walls. "You deserve this," she whispered, her voice trembling. Though whether from anger or regret, even she could not tell. But curses have a way of creeping back, and Neka's price was not yet fully paid. One morning, as Mama Adia peeled a yam, she noticed her fingers were stiff, her nails darkening to the hue of soil. Days later, her legs swelled, her skin hardening into a rough, bark-like texture. By the time she realized what was happening, it was too late. Her reflection in a water pot revealed eyes that were no longer human but hollow, and black like those of a yam. "You are becoming what you have sown," Nika's voice echoed, a grim reminder that greed and vengeance are seeds that bear bitter fruit. The market woke one day to find Mama Adia's stall empty. On her mat lay a single, enormous yam, so golden it seemed to radiate light. No one dared touch it. Over time, it sprouted vines that twisted and coiled like the hands of the cursed, reaching out as if pleading for redemption. And in the night, when the wind howled, some swore they could hear Mama Adia's voice crying from the darkness, "Don't eat me! Please, don't eat me!"